Hey guys, what's up and welcome to another daily market outlook. So we're just going to dive straight in. Looking at the dollar index came up in towards this area of supply after spiking this low. So this area of supply, this bullish candle before the big sell-off, took out this low over here, or at least spiked through it. And at the moment we are looking to see, okay, can we potentially react and see once again further downside from the dollar index. Overall, you could also draw the zone like this, then you can see, okay, we already reacted. Then if we were to see that further downside from the dollar index, then we would have to target this zone over here of demand, which logically took out this high over here and this high as well over here. So if we do see that further downside from the dollar index, then we could target this zone. If we spike through this zone over here that we're currently inside of, then you have to go in towards the daily time frame. And if you look at the daily time frame, then you could target this kind of like refined area of supply up above over here and see kind of like a spike back up in towards that 104 region. So if we do see further downside from the dollar index, that could mean that there is going to be a bearish dollar, which will result in further upside from pairs such as euro dollar, pound dollar, Aussie dollar and Kiwi dollar. So looking at Aussie dollar for the day ahead, Aussie dollar has been moving pretty interesting. As we can see from a daily perspective, nothing much has changed. On the daily, we are still internally bullish. This is your swing low, this is your swing high. Pull back up or down in towards this demand zone with still this fresh area of demand available. We came back up after this dump over here back on Wednesday. We came back up in towards this bullish candle and we are now reacting to it. If we look at the 4 hour, because that's of course where it gets more interesting, the overall the 4 hour is still bearish. We are reacting to this overall order flow, which is this buy before the big sell-off, and that's currently where we're dumping from. So what I'm currently doing, and I'm refining the 4 hour supply to these two zones over here, is that I'm looking at, okay, what is the 15-minute doing, and is the 15-minute telling me that we're already going to head down lower, potentially back down in towards, let's say, this refined 4 hour zone, which is also stacked with an area of daily demand, which I just showed you guys. Well, looking at the 15-minute time frame, the 15-minute is currently in a bullish flow. So what do I mean by that? Well, if we look over here and have a closer look, you could see that this was your low, this was your high, this high gets broken, this is your low, this is your high, this high gets broken, so this is now your low, and this is your high. So this is kind of like your swing up, pull back. So this is your area of demand, which took out this high, and we could from here see one more push up in towards that area of our supply. If we then see that bearish reaction, potentially something like this, pull back and then push down, then I would be looking for those shorts. At the moment, not looking for any shorts until we potentially take out this low over here, but still not the highest probability trade that I would preferably take. So I am really favoring kind of like one more move more up, then that take of structure, pull back in towards supply and then sell off. So that's what I'm looking at the moment from Aussie dollar. Now euro dollar, let's head over to the 4 hour time frame. So euro dollar currently reacting to this sell before the buy over here, which is kind of acting as your area of demand, but yeah, still not very significant as it did not take out anything. On, what was it, Friday, we did react on London session to this fresh area of demand on the 4 hour, which of course was right below this low over here. And this is always, guys, what I explain. If you kind of like see that strong move up, but you don't see any liquidation in that move up, what will happen? The buyers will become liquidation themselves. So they get liquidated, and from there we start to move back up in towards the upside. So now what I'm kind of looking for, and I kind of am seeing it, that we have this kind of like descending channel pattern, is that we could potentially see one more push up. However, it would have been higher probability for me personally, kind of like took out this structural high over here. Looking at the 15-minute time frame, what we can see, however, is that we do have a bullish 15-minute time frame. So we did take out the structural low, this was a structural low, so now we took out the structural high, push up, pull back. So now let's see how we kind of like come in towards this area on the 15-minute, this overall sell before the buy. Potentially we can move down even lower in towards this refined area on the 50-minute, then see how we react here, and then potentially kind of like trade euro dollar back up higher in line with the overall daily structure to see that daily pattern completed once and for all. But that's also of course dependent on what the dollar index will be doing. So keep that in mind for euro dollar. Pound dollar. So pound dollar, not really that beautiful. Still looking for lower prices back down in towards this daily area of demand, reacting to this bullish candle over here. which we formed on Tuesday. From there, big sell-off, pull back, because you can kind of see this as supply, even though it's not significant. It does kind of like still do its thing, and then look for one more push down on pound dollar. So that needs to coincide with the overall 4-hour outlook. So looking at the 4-hour time frame, 4 hour is bearish. So let's see, this area of demand did not hold, we spiked through it. So that means that kind of like this this buy before the sell-off is your supply. Well, as we can see, that is also what we're reacting to. So we could look for further downside from here and see pound dollar sell off one more time in towards the lows. So looking at it from a 15-minute perspective, what we can see over here is that price beautifully excuse me, reacted to this area of supply over here, and from there did its thing. Not the highest probability. It would have been much higher probability if this high were to be, let's say, above this high, because then this low would have been a structure break. Then it's super high probability to take those shorts. So for me personally, nothing really there on pound dollar, but I am potentially anticipating further downside from pound dollar in towards that daily area of demand, looking at it from a 4-hour perspective as well. Now on to Kiwi dollar, because Kiwi dollar has been behaving very nicely. So looking at Kiwi dollar over here, what we can see, it's just loading. What we can see over here is that we're reacting to this area of supply. Of course, last week we saw that beautiful sell-off in towards downside, then that beautiful pullback from this refined 4-hour zone, which lies inside daily demand. So yeah, beautiful pullback. From there, there were some long opportunities from there as well to trade the overall pullback after break of structure on this low over here. So overall, because again, just for your information, overall swing structures from this high towards this low. So overall, if you kind of like trade the structure internally, you can then kind of trade it like this, and then obviously the structure is bearish overall. So now at the moment, what I'm looking for is potential sells. High probability sells are once we break the low of this bullish candle, because then we already reacted to that 4-hour area of supply. But then the overall 15-minute structure will also be much more in favor, because at the moment we are still reacting kind of like towards or to these areas of demand. That's what's pushing price up at the moment. So we need to kind of like see a structural shift in price to then look for that potential short back down in towards the downside. So for now, still further upside from Kiwi dollar until we see that structural change. And this pretty much goes for all dollar pairs at the moment. Now that was Kiwi dollar. For the rest, dollar yen looking just for slightly higher price over here in towards 145.179. Dollar Swiss looking for further downside. It is now in a nice area of supply over here. This bullish candle before the big sell-off. So looking for a sell from dollar Swiss. Going in towards the 15-minute time frame. Yeah, just kind of like look what you can see, kind of get that change of character. Overall, this is the big supply. This is your refined supply. Highest probabilities, of course, once we get in towards there. So let's see, maybe we push down in towards, let's say, this demand. One more push up, then wait for that change of character to then look for a sell. So that's dollar Swiss, potential shorting opportunity later today during New York session. And then, of course, gold. So gold from a daily perspective, reacting beautifully to the demand zone, which I pointed out. Yeah, seeing some further upside from inside the demand zone. Now what do we need? We need the 4-hour to play along as well. So from a 4-hour perspective, let's see. I mean, we now tap kind of back in towards this supply zone over here on the 4-hour. From this supply, we took out this structural low. So just keep in mind that would be high probability for a long once we break through. So let's see how we react to this, let's say demand zone, which took out, for example, this high over here. See, for example, a push up. Then once we break this area of supply, look for those further longs upon the pullback. Or if we just crash through this demand zone, it is most likely that this area of demand will not hold, and we will see that lower area of daily demand play out. And then we will see this lower area get hit around 1860 to 1809. So you guys, that is all for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you have a fantastic day, and we will speak very, very soon. Thanks, guys.